Hi everyone. So today's objective is to identify and explain the important parts of the coordinate plane. So what I'm going to do is just talk you through all of the important parts and aspects of the coordinate plane. I'm going to write those terms at the top of the page and then highlight them on the actual plane itself. So the first thing you need to know, of course, is what is the coordinate plane. So this is what that looks like written out. Coordinate plane. What you're looking at on the screen is the coordinate plane. It's this entire thing. The number lines, the grids, the letters, everything you see is the coordinate plane. And it's simply something we use to help us plot points and make lines and do all sorts of things involving shapes. The coordinate plane is really an important thing that we use in everyday life, whether you realize it or not. So the next thing that we need to learn about the coordinate plane is that it is made up of two axes, the x-axis, and the other one is the y-axis. Now, if you look closely at the coordinate plane, you'll kind of already see those set up for us. Every coordinate plane has both of these. The x-axis, I'm going to highlight here in yellow, is horizontal. It goes from left to right, and on anything we use, it will be labeled for you. The y-axis is vertical. It goes up and down, labeled with a y. You need both of these axes to have a coordinate plane and to use it. You'll need a yellow number and a blue number, or an x-axis number and a y-axis number, to plot a point on the coordinate plane. The next part of the coordinate plane that you'll need to know is something called the origin. Okay? The reason it's called the origin is because it's the original spot right here in the middle where you'll see the 0. It's the origin of where we start. Whenever we use the coordinate plane, we put our finger or our pencil on the origin. 0 on the x-axis and 0 on the y, right in the center. Going along with what I just said, the origin is where we start when we want to plot a point. A point is an area on the graph. So first let's write out point, okay? And it will literally be labeled like this. Right here, this is a point. I can say that's point A. If I can put a dot right here, and I can say that's point B, point C, point D, and I could keep going. It's just one element on the graph, and you need an x and a y coordinate or number from the number line to take you to that point. So let's talk about how to make a point on the coordinate plane. You need what's called an ordered pair. Go ahead and say that to yourselves. Ordered pair. An ordered pair are two numbers, one from the x-axis and one from the y-axis, that when you use them, it's kind of like a guide on a map. It tells you where the point is going to go. So let's say I'm going to make the ordered pair. Let me get rid of these first. Of 2, 10. This is an example of an ordered pair, 2, 10. It's going to tell us what point on the graph we will find point A. So we're going to find point A. You always start with the x-axis. So you need to go this way and this way first. So we need to find 2. Well, I'm going to start at my origin, go on over. Oh, there's my 2. So I know I'm going to start here. But that's not where point A is, because this ordered pair also says that I need to have the number 10. So on my y-axis, going up and down, I need to go up to 10. So I started at 0. My x-coordinate was 2, so I went to 2. Now I'm going to go up to 10. I'm just going to draw that here so you see. My point A is going to be right there. At 2, and 10. So I'm going to take out a different color here just to show you one more time how I got to point A. Now notice point A doesn't have lines drawn around it. It's just the point and the letter. Okay, but I'm going to use my yellow marker here to show you how I got that. So first I start with the X, which is always listed first, and it tells me to go to the number 2. That's telling me right here, going to the number 2. Then it tells me my Y coordinate is 10. So I have to go up to where number 10 would be. 10 squares up, 10 lines up. And that is how I got to point A on the coordinate plane, which I label with a point where those 2 spots meet and the letter. The last vocabulary word that we need to learn today is a quadrant. So I'm going to write that out. Okay, go ahead and say that word. Special emphasis on this Q-U-A, quadrant. Okay, a quadrant is just talking about a broad area on the graph. So they're labeled with, it's called Roman numerals, okay? So quadrant 1 would be this right here in red. That would be quadrant 1. Quadrant 2 would be this area over here. Quadrant 3 would be down here. And quadrant 4 is this area over here. Again, in 5th grade, we mostly focus on quadrant 1, but we're going to talk about quadrants 2, 3, and 4 and plot some points in those areas as well. So you've met our objective. Your goal today was to identify and explain the important parts of the coordinate plane, which we've done. We talked about the x-axis, the y-axis, the origin or starter point on the graph, different points and how to find a point, the 4 quadrants of the graph, and an ordered pair. You're going to continue working on Nearpod using the vocabulary that we learned today. On the next slide, there's going to be a practice page where you're going to label the different parts of the coordinate plane. There is a sample picture there for you to help you. Use it as you label the coordinate plane.